Have you ever wondered how a single day can change the course of history forever? A day when the world as we know it seems to come to a standstill. A day when the ordinary rhythm of life gets disrupted, shattered, by a catastrophe that is so immense, so unthinkable, that it leaves an indelible scar on the fabric of humanity. Imagine, if you will, a regular Tuesday morning. The city is humming with the usual bustle. People are heading to work. Kids are being dropped off at school. Life is going on as it always has, with the promise of a beautiful sunny day ahead. The sky is clear, and so are the smiles on people's faces. It's September 11th, 2001. In offices and homes, coffee is being poured, breakfasts are being had, and televisions, everybody is amidst their routine, unaware of the twists and turns that the day is about to take. The city's heartbeat is strong, steady, and beautifully mundane, but serene morning will be interrupted. Soon the ordinary will turn into something unimaginable. And this transformation will be so sudden, so unexpected, that the world will reel under its impact. When it happens, it will be more horrifying than any Hollywood movie, or any nightmare that the human mind can conjure. Within moments, the morning will take a sinister turn. Skyscrapers that once stood tall and proud will be reduced to plumes of smoke and rubble. Ordinary citizens will turn into heroes, and heroes will be tested like never before. The city lives will be lost, and the survivors will never be the same again. The world will watch in disbelief as the horror unfolds, and the ripples of this cataclysmic event will be felt across the globe, forever altering the course of history. And just like that, a sunny Tuesday morning turned. As the world watched in horror, the unimaginable happened again. Again. This historical event shook the core of humanity, dropped jaws across nations, and froze millions of hearts. The day dawned like any other. The sun rose, people went about their usual routines, oblivious to what the universe had in store. Who could have predicted that before the sun would set, the world would be a drastically different place? 4 drastically different places? 4 planes, each carrying more than just passengers, became the harbingers of an unforeseen catastrophe. Each aircraft symbolized a normality that was about to be shattered. Each passenger, an individual story, an existence that was irreplaceably a mere statistic in a horrific event. Their destination was not just a change of location, but a journey into a heartbreaking narrative that would be written in history and retold for generations. With them, they carried dreams, aspirations, and plans for tomorrow. Hopes for the future, ambitions for a better life, love for their families. To them, they were about to be tragically and unwillingly thrust into a narrative of terror. Numerous lives, each precious and unique, were lost. The tragedy extended beyond the immediate victims to engulf their families, friends, and even distant acquaintances. The ripple effects of this disaster can still be felt to this day in the collective heart of a nation that was forever changed. America, a nation once perceived as invincible, found itself wounded and vulnerable. The unity of its people, its strength and resilience, was tested to unprecedented levels. However, shone through. In less than 2 hours, the landscape of America had been irrevocably altered. This event marked a significant turning point that redefined the country's identity and the course of global. In the wake of the destruction, a nation and a world were left to grapple with the enormity of the events. The aftermath was a sight to behold, a canvas of chaos and despair that stretched far beyond the eyes could see. The dust of ruins hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of the devastation that had unfolded. Buildings, once proud structures, stood in fragments, a ghostly shell of their former selves. The silence that ensued was overwhelming, punctuated only by the intermittent sirens that echoed in the distance. A quiet, solemn reminder that life as we knew it had been irrevocably altered. The atmosphere was heavy with a mixed sense of shock, loss, and disbelief. It was a sight that gripped the heart and soul, making it difficult to comprehend the magnitude of the devastation. The collective psyche of the nation was deeply scarred, bearing the burden of an event that defied comprehension. Emotions were raw, the pain palpable, with each person wrestling with their private grief and grappling with the enormity of the destruction. Fear, enormity of the destruction. Fear and uncertainty gripped the hearts of many, but beneath this layer of desolation, there emerged a quiet, determined strength. It was as if the world paused, sharing in the nation's grief. Newspapers and television screens across the globe overflowed with images of the devastation. The world watched in stunned silence, nations in an act of global solidarity. There was an outpouring of support and sympathy, with nations far and wide rallying to provide aid and comfort. In the midst of this tragedy, there were countless stories of courage and resilience. Brave souls who ventured into the heart of the destruction, risking their own lives in the hope of saving others. These stories served as a beacon of hope, human spirit. They embodied a resolve that no adversity, no matter how great, could crush. There was a promise that echoed in the hearts of the people, a pledge that was reflected in their actions, a promise that no matter the adversity, no matter the severity of the loss, the nation would stand strong, that amidst the ruins, the rubble and the tears, they would find the courage to rebuild, the strength to heal, and the determination to forge ahead. This was not just a promise, but a vow, a resolution that was etched into the very fabric of the nation. It was a pledge that resonated with a sense of purpose, a determination that echoed across the nation and the world, and thus, with the promise of resilience, of unity and of hope, the nation and the world began the arduous journey towards healing. A promise that no matter the adversity, we will always find the... But how did this one day change the world as we knew it? One may wonder. The day we are referring to is no ordinary day. It's a day that's permanently etched in the global consciousness, a day that we universally recognize by its date alone, September 11th. On this day, the world watched in horror as images of smoke, fire and destruction flooded television screens worldwide. The iconic Twin Towers, standing tall as symbols of American prosperity and strength, were reduced to rubble within mere hours. Within mere hours, lives were lost, families shattered, and the world stood still as we grappled with the enormity of the tragedy. In an instant, it seemed as if our collective sense of security had been ripped away from us. The aftermath was a time of fear, confusion and grief. But it was also a time of resilience. It was a time when people across the world pulled together, offering support, comfort and assistance to those who needed it most. In the wake of this event, nations worldwide found themselves forced to re-evaluate their priorities, their policies, and the war on terror was launched, leading to significant geopolitical shifts and a heightened sense of global insecurity. National security took center stage, with countries tightening their borders and ramping up surveillance and intelligence efforts. Yet, in the midst of this turmoil, it was also a time of unity, a time when we all stood together as one, confronting the face of terror with... So where does this leave us today? September 11th, a day of profound impact, reshaped global relations and challenged humanity. A single day can indeed change history, but it is up to us to decide how we respond and move forward.